Michigan's rock station, Q106.
Hey, I'm Q106's Terry Stevens. Capital City Comic-Con is coming back to the Lansing Center in downtown Lansing, June 30th through July 2nd. Once again, it has a star-studded lineup of geek culture celebrities. We're going to be talking to them in the weeks leading up to the big show. Our guest this time around, you've seen his work in the pages of Rick and Morty comics, David Roman. Q106, what's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, this is David Angelo Roman, Rick and Morty artist. How you doing?
Doing good, David Angelo Roman. Terry Stevens from Q106. We are stoked to have you here in a few weeks at Capital City Comic-Con, man. We're so stoked about that. We got a lot of Rick and Morty fans in the Q106 audience.
Awesome. Good to hear.
So I have a complicated relationship with Rick and Morty. So full disclosure here. So I host a heavy metal show. I've been hosting it for, it's been well over a decade at this point, called Scary Terry's Saturday Nightmare. And you know where this is going.
Okay.
Man, so I've been going by Scary Effin' Terry. Like, if you look somewhere in a landfill, there's a Nintendo 64 cartridge of WWF No Mercy that has a creator wrestler that looks like me, but with pectoral muscles and stuff, called Scary Effin' Terry. I'm just saying, I should have trademarked it before the Rick and Morty cats came up with it. I really should have.
Yeah, you could have made some money.
I know, but that's fine. It's fine. It's a fine show. I'm not bitter much anymore. So David, I guess let's get started with this, man. So tell us how you came to get connected with the Rick and Morty crew.
Yeah, so I was just a fan artist, to tell you the truth. When it all started, I was just going to Comic Cons, helping my brothers out because they love collecting autographs and comics, and at the time I had a business that was a mural business. I was painting murals, frescoes, and doing wall finishes, and I knew it's not what I really wanted to do at the end, but it made really good money, and I didn't have to work for anyone else. I had my own little business, and my brothers, being jerks, they wanted to try to embarrass me in front of the other famous artists. They started showing them some of my art, and a few people were pretty impressed. One was the late Neil Adams. He was telling me that, I can make good money setting up at shows, start off as a fan artist, show people what you got, and, literally, and then start doing something, and gave me some good advice. So I set up at the first show I did was in Austin Wizard World, and I drew all the fans, or all the celebrities from The Walking Dead that were at that show. So I drew them on what we call comic book blanks. So it's a white cover variant, and I drew their likenesses, did a bunch of them for about a month so I can have stuff to sell. And I sold out really quick, and I got the attention of some of the actors, like Norman Reedus was there, and he wanted to meet me because he kept seeing these drawings of himself. It's like, holy crap, who's this guy?
Oh, that's dope.
And I got approached by Tops and Upper Deck. I eventually gave in and decided, okay, I'll start doing some art for them. And in the meantime, so I did art for Star Wars, Walking Dead, Marvel Premiere, and in the meantime, my friend who he buys and sells a lot of comics, he had me draw on a lot of Rick and Morty blanks, and he showed them to Justin Roiland to get him to sign it. And Justin stopped and was like, who is this guy? This is really funny. And of course, some of the scenes that I drew were kind of borderline, a little bit kinky and crazy. And he liked it. He's like, man, this guy, I like the way he thinks. I'm going to remember that name. And so eventually Cryptozoic started doing the trading cards. And they wanted me to draw some Rick and Morty trading cards for them. And I was, oh, man, Rick and Morty, of course. And so I drew them. I took my friend's advice. One of my friends had told me that every card you draw, make it outstanding. Make it the best you can because you never know who's going to see them. Well, lo and behold, someone inside of Cryptozoic told me that Justin saw it and he recognized my autograph from some of the art that I've done in the past. And it kind of opened the door to do some covers for the Rick and Morty comic, and that's where I'm at right now. And ever since I did that, I've been traveling around the world, getting invited to some of the biggest shows around the world, like Tokyo Comic Con, Middle East Film Comic Con, the Comic-Con in Brazil called Comic-Con Experience. I've just been traveling everywhere, and it's been a game changer, and it's been fun because, you know, I'm no longer drawing all this photorealistic stuff for Star Wars or fan art like I used to. And now I get to do funny, crazy drawings and meet fans that are super friendly. And, you know, it feels a lot more like vacation every time I go to a Comic-Con now. Before it was work, and now it's like, man, this is fun.
Right. It's professional loitering. You know, you just hang out at a place. Right?
Yeah. And I know at Capital City Comic-Con, the after party, I think they're going to have a drink and draw too, but it's also like a bar, and cigars are allowed in there and all. And I'm a big cigar fan, and I'm going to be smoking cigars. So I'm like, man, this is awesome. I get to smoke cigars and drink and draw. Heck, I'm there.
There you
totally
go.
There.
Now, where do you? I'm not sure where you live at the moment, but just a quick heads up. There are certain things that have been legalized for a hot minute in Michigan in case you have your cigars left-handed. Just letting you know that's the thing.
You know, you could remove the tobacco from cigars. You know that.
That's what I hear. I can't confirm, but I've heard rumors of that sort of thing happening in certain circles there. So David, one of the things that really stuck out to me right away, you started doing murals in these large scale pieces. How much of a challenge was it for you to adapt to the trading card format? Because that's a lot less real estate to create on, dude.
It was really, really weird, but at the same time, I was like, well, this is a lot smaller. I know I should be, you know, hypothetically, I should be able to do these really, really quick. But of course, I'm working, doing these micro, tiny little details with skinny markers when before I was using big old fat paintbrushes. So in one way, it slowed me down a little bit, but at the same time, I drew them quickly, knowing this is nothing like a 40-foot mural. It's a much smaller surface, and I just try not to think. I just did them. Like they wanted me to do 120 cards in 30 days, and those are a lot of images. But I did the same for Star Wars anyway. So you just kind of get used to it. You just have to, you know, get used to drawing for 15 hours a day, no days off. You know, during those 30 days, because you want to stay on track. And but the reward at the end will make up for it. And sure enough, they see, believe it or not, art collectors, comic book collectors, publishers, they see who works hard, who's dependable, and that's what I wanted to convey. So if I had to bust my butt, this was the time to do it. And I just try not to think about it. I just work my butt off, try to have a good time doing it, and, you know, it comes down to work ethic if you want to go somewhere in this industry.
Was there some additional pressure on the Star Wars product? Because if there's one thing that Star Wars fans love to do, it's to complain about Star Wars products.
Yeah. No, actually, the thinking process for Star Wars was not as complicated, because Star Wars was all about photorealism and accuracy. They really didn't want you to make anything up. It had to stay canon. And so what they wanted me to draw was scenes from the different movies. And so basically all I had to do was draw what I saw. The only challenge was Harrison Ford. If you draw Harrison Ford, it has to be spot on, extremely realistic, or it gets failed, because he has a lot of say-so in the approvals when it comes to his image. It's all the other characters, no problem, but Harrison Ford, you have a 95% chance of failure on him if you draw him. So
wow,
you have to draw him perfect. Yeah, you have to draw him perfect, and I would do one. I would do one Harrison Ford just so I can move on to the other ones. And I've always had all of mine approved, so that was kind of an accomplishment in itself.
You passed the Han Solo test. That's I feel like you should get a trophy or something for that, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, they don't even try. They're like, no, I'm not going to waste my time. Why? When it has a high probability of failure. So, but you know, it's one of those things where I save it for the very last card, and if I have one full day, then I'll work on that one, and then but it's fun. It was a challenge. It was a lot of fun. I'll do more sets later when I have a little bit of a break because they're always great. I'm kind of regretting missing The Mandalorian, but it is what it is.
You'll have that. Well, at least you know that if they ever decide to do a Raiders of the Lost Ark trading card game, you know you're on their short list.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I don't know about that. that would be a nightmare.
That's a lot of Harrison to be drawing every single time, I suppose.
Oh man, it would turn into a meme.
So in the Rick and Morty verse, man, so you spent a lot of time with this franchise, between the comics covers and the trading cards, and obviously you are intimately familiar with the product. Which Rick and Morty character do you relate to the most?
Definitely Rick. Because the older I get, the more I understand why old people are so grumpy. It's like, man, I totally get it now. It's like, I just wait at the line in the grocery store and I'm like, calm down, stay calm. I know she's got more than 10 items. That's okay. It'll go by quick. It's one of those things where it's just Rick is so, he's smarter than everyone else, but at the end, he's got the same problems we all do.
Namely, poor impulse control. That seems to be the biggest one.
Yeah, kids that don't behave, a loser in the family, just no matter what he does, he's going to screw it up somehow.
Right. So in the Rick and Morty verse, who is your favorite character to draw?
To draw. Well, Rick is easy to draw. But I think Scary Terry because he's got all these little gross details, and when he's drawn right, he looks freaking hilarious. He's got that evil smile, and Scary Terry. I like him. He's funny. I'm
going to take that as a by proxy compliment because, again, I do the Scary Terry Saturday Nightmare thing, which, again, I should have trademarked years ago. Damn it.
Yeah.
You'll have that.
Maybe you should trademark Scariest Terry.
That or maybe a more formal version, Scarence Terrence. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, you can.
Dress that up a little bit. Now, working with, obviously, now the Rick and Morty franchise, there's certainly some, there's going to be some changes coming, some new voice work being done and that sort of thing. So with that, what other upcoming projects do you have, man?
Oh, man. I've got a project coming up. That's really all I can say. It's really weird. They don't want me to say what it is. It's something different. So they just don't want me to say anything about it. I know once they get the image, the art image that I got once that gets approved, then they should be allowed to release a little more information and the image for pre-sales and stuff like that. So I don't know the details on that, like when I can show and say what I can, but I know there's just something coming up.
Got it.
I wish I could say more, but I also don't want to get screwed.
It's okay. We're just going to wildly speculate that it's Air Force One, the collectible card game from Upper Deck, and it's 6,000 images of President Harrison Ford that you've had to labor over. That's what we're going to go with.
That sounds like a nightmare, but okay.
So with the Upper Deck stuff, have you done anything with their TCGs, or has it primarily been art cards?
No, it was just art cards with Upper Deck. I did Marvel Premiere, and then I got really busy with other projects, and I haven't done anything other than Marvel Premiere, which is I guess it's their higher end of the trading card sets for Marvel. So the trading cards, the art proofs are like really thick cardstock, like super thick. It's like super weird thick. I don't know how to describe it. It's like about as thick as it's cardboard, but really dense, like really nice drawing material. They're I guess you can call them art boards, but they're cut really small with the graphics of Marvel Premiere. they were really neat. I enjoyed working on them, but at the same time, once I started really getting busy with Rick and Morty, I haven't done much with them since.
Yeah, that sounds like weapons grade cards, man. Now, David,
yeah, they're really nice and thick and heavy. They're really cool.
Now, David, I know you're on tour with a bunch of these cons, so I got one more question for you before we turn you loose upon the art world to create more Rick and Morty awesomeness. What would you recommend to someone who wants to get into a career doing what you do, doing illustrations for different franchises and that sort of thing?
Basically, the number one thing that all published artists can do is they can draw and sketch extremely fast. Don't spend 2 weeks drawing one single image of, let's say, Naruto or whoever you're going to draw. Learn how to draw them quickly. Learn how to do really, really fast sketches. Refine your model work. Being able to draw in different perspectives, different angles, etc. And work ethic, they see your work ethic. They will see work ethic. They need someone, when they hire people that can draw quickly and accurately. And that's their thing, quickly and accurately. They don't want someone that's going to take 2 weeks to draw a really cool Naruto with sitting on top of a toad. They don't need that. There are tons of fans that can draw that. They need people that are quick, dependable, and accurate. And that's something that a lot of people won't do that just because they want to fulfill themselves and look how cool this came out. Screw it. You need to draw quick. You need to learn how to train your hand to draw really quick, because most of the drawings are never perfect drawings. They're supposed to be fast renderings so they can get approved. And once they're approved, they get a penciler that will go over the drawing again, and then the inker that does the accurate proportions and lines, etc. So, they have to come up with these comic books every single month, 30 pages, and each page is going to have 5 to 7 little box scenes. And they don't need someone that's going to take 2 years to do one comic book. So that's one thing a lot of younger people don't understand. And when you do art, I would recommend start out as a fan artist, get a table at Comic-Cons, get seen. If you submit some of your art to Tops and Upper Deck, that way you can start, getting your name out there. And because it is, once you draw, let's say Star Wars for Tops, you become a Star Wars artist. They put you on a list online. And so you get a little feather in your hat, and that starts getting you noticed. And so you just need to get your name out there. You can't wait for them to come. It's like, isn't there a country song that says something like that? Chase your dreams because your dreams won't chase you back.
Dude, we're a station that plays Metallica. So, but I always say, like, I talk to a lot of musicians who are grinding on the underground, and they're like, hey, how do I get my song on the radio? How do I, get noticed? And I'm like, dude, you can't wait to be discovered. You have to make a noise that can't be ignored. Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. They're not going to find you. No one is so great that everyone is going to come looking for you. You have to go out there. You have to make yourself known. You can't be shy about it. If you're shy about it, then you really don't care about your art form, whether it's music or art. You need to get out there. You need to be your biggest hype person. And you need to get seen. If that means working a regular job and on the weekends, show your art off at the Comic-Con, well, then so be it. If that's your dream, don't let it stop you. Just get noticed and draw.
I love it, man. That is real talk, real practical advice there. David Angelo Roman, we are going to see you and a absolute battalion of artists and voiceover artists and celebs June 30th through July 2nd, Capital City Comic-Con. Grab those tickets now and use promo code Q10625 and get a discount on that. And use it to spend at David Angelo Roman's merch table. There you go.
Yeah, wubba lubba dub dub!
And a good wubba lubba dub dub to you as well, sir. David, we'll see you in a few weeks, buddy.
Absolutely. See you.
Later, man.
Michigan's rock station, Q106.